Hey everybody, Mort here. Just going over some more data I collected. About a week and a half into January, I realized it would be a good time to start keeping track of the amount of time it took to do a delivery. So far, I was basing everything on miles driven. So I was looking at it, well, more miles, more offer amount, more base pay, but I kept finding exception after exception. So what I did was I decided, let's look at total delivery time and see if that makes some changes. And what I did was eventually I found that it might be. So let me go to some examples. So 32 is an example. This was a 9.75 offer. It had a $4.25 base pay, and it took 18 minutes. The delivery right below it is another one that showed up at a 10.5 going 5.8 miles away. Unfortunately, it didn't pay out as well, but it did go up from what the initial offer was, and in each case, the order went up. One was really good, of course, the other one wasn't, but point here was that they showed me much lower offers, like 4 miles away, especially 5.8 miles away, and the 10.5 increase. To me, that was the exact problem I was having with when I was keeping track of my last set of data last year, was that I kept running into these exceptions I couldn't explain, and delivery time might be helping me explain them. There's two more examples of this. So this one here is 67, was 6.2 miles from restaurant to customer. They showed 15, went up to 36. It took 21 minutes. So that was another example where 6 miles away, I would possibly expect them to show me even more on those. Here, this one, 9 point. No, that one was pretty much. You see, this is what I would expect them to show. You see, this 9.1, that was 19.5. I would expect them to show me 17 or 18. But see, this delivery took 23 minutes. But I sometimes that they show you less because maybe they think the order could be done in less time. All right, so let's go to the actual charts I made for it. Take a second to load. All right, so delivery time to offer amount. So what you can see here is that basically this goes from the quickest deliveries to the longest. And as you can see, it starts with the offer amounts start low. They're gradually increasing, but you can see there are exceptions everywhere. Like the longest deliveries still have low offers, but those were most likely restaurant delays. But here we have the shortest deliveries, but there were still higher offers that were quick. Secondly, we had delivery time to base pay. Again, this is the same general pattern. It's slowly increasing with exceptions everywhere. So eventually you get to the point where longer deliveries have a higher base pay with like 3-4 exceptions. Quicker deliveries have a lower base pay, but plenty of exceptions. Delivery time to miles. This was the most conclusive information I came up with. As you can see, low miles, quick deliveries, exception. Those were the ones we were talking about. And then as we went on, more time, more miles, but tons of exceptions on these as well. Maybe, again, restaurant delays, other factors as well. But overall, to me, this at the beginning was the conclusive part of the saying that there might be, and this is a key word, might be orders that have an offer amount, a base pay, an amount of miles that looks to you like it isn't any good, but DoorDash is hiding something because what they're saying is you could do this order really quickly. We don't have to show you as much. And these are usually times when they're not super busy. So to me, these exceptions were what I had been noticing for a year. This is something I'd been looking for to try to figure out why all of a sudden, because I want to make one chart, and originally what I wanted to do was I wanted to make one chart of mile to offer amount, and to have each mile have a minimum offer amount. But what I learned was it changed all the time, and this is the conclusive evidence that every hour, demand, supply is changing the offer amounts and what they're willing to show you. And my basic conclusion is the more demand there is for orders, the less drivers available, the more they'll be willing to show you, the more they'll be willing to pay out in base pays, and and for that. Now, at the opposite, if they look at it and it's not busy and they say, hey, look, these orders, the roads aren't busy, they can do these really quickly, let's not show them as much. And that's just the way they roll. They don't pay you as much when it's not busy. And when it's busy, they pay you a little more because they want to make sure everything gets done. But when it's not busy, they show you less and pay you less. And but that's mostly speculation. I have some data that indicates that in my market, but I'm still trying to do a ton of research on this before I jump to anything conclusive. So if you are watching this, I do want to say that this is basically based on data that I could collect in my market. So you can look into this and research it and see what it looks like. I'd be very curious what it looks like in a different market to see if you notice some patterns like this. You can look at my last video or this video and see if you notice anything during the day. You've probably noticed it offhand, something. And just feel free to leave those in the comments. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get ready. It's going to take a day or two to make my next video, which I'm going to try to go hour by hour and see if that gives me some type of measurement of how each hour shifted, all these factors shifted every hour. So we'll get that done. And I think that will show some evidence that supply and demand play a huge role besides miles. And this video shows what I suspected, that the delivery time plays a small role, but could show up time and time again as a way for them to justify showing a lower bay fee. And this is all stuff that's programmed into their algorithm that the computer is using to make them more efficient. It's not something they actively do, but whenever I say that, I'm talking about a series of computers using an algorithm to determine what to offer you. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.